Welcome back to my channel. I am Sarah, aka Scarlett, and here we are glowing up into midlife together. I am doing a video on Seint Makeup today, and I am not somebody who sells it, nor do I plan on selling it at any time. For me, there are some hits and some misses, and just to let you know, this is the second time that I've tried Seint. The first time I sent the makeup back because I hadn't done enough research on how to wear cream makeup. And now there are some that I really like, some of the products that I really like, and some that I'm just not a huge fan of. So if you are looking at Seint and would like a super honest opinion by someone who's bought the makeup with their own funds and does not sell it, stay tuned. And as always, please, please, please subscribe to my channel, hit that bell, give me a thumbs up, and let's get started with Seint. All right, today we are talking about Seint Makeup, and it is a very popular makeup. It is all over the internet. There are many, many ladies who sell it and are makeup artists. I have no desire to sell Seint Makeup, but I did want to use it. I ordered it a while ago, and I found it to be very heavy and goopy because I am coming from wearing powder foundation. I also don't really like it when a company makes broad statements like, if you have mature skin, you have to wear cream makeup, because I don't think that's true. I do wear powder foundation quite often, and with the right kind and the right prep, powder foundation can still be great for mature skin. But I sent it back the first time because I believe I was putting too much product on my face. I had not realized or discovered setting powder yet, and I didn't really realize the correct application process for my skin. With that being said, I did more research, I tried more foundations, including some creams, and I ordered again some Seint Makeup. But because I'd ordered before, I ordered only certain products. I do not like using a bronzer because I'm very fair-skinned, and when I use a bronzer and a contour, I feel like my neck does not match my face. So with that being said, when I ordered the products again, I ordered a contour, the highlight, the main foundation, and a lip and cheek. I also ordered, I will say this, I did order a bronzer, but not to be used as a bronzer. I actually ordered a bronzer to be used as a quick eyeshadow hack. So in this video today, I want to start with my skin prep because I have very dry skin and it only gets drier as I age. If you have oily skin, I may not be the best informational resource for you because I have extremely dry skin, and as I get older, it gets drier and drier. I'm 51 years old, and I always say this on my beauty reels. I have not had any work done. I have not any lip filler. Those are from my dad. I have not had any Botox. I have not had anything done to my face. Now, that's not to say I will never, ever, ever get a surgical procedure done. I'm not claiming that, nor do I judge any woman that does get procedures done. But at this point in time, the only thing I've used on my face is tretinoin, and I've used that since I was 40. So moving on to my prep today with very, very dry skin, and knowing that Seint does not have SPF in their makeup, I want to talk about a couple products today that I'm really, really liking. So this is actually Seint / Repechage. So Repechage is a company that uses a lot of seaweed in their products. And I've been using these products for quite a while. This is a serum and a seaweed extract oil. Now, originally I thought they were from Korea. I don't know why, but they're not. They're a US-based company that is based, I believe they get the seaweed in Maine. They're supposed to be a clean brand using clean ingredients. It is expensive stuff, I will say that. Their stuff is quite a bit more expensive than Korean skincare that I'm also researching, more to come on that. But I really like the way it feels on my skin. So usually when I start my day, of course, I wash my face, which I've already done. And I put some of this serum on next. Now this serum is very, very watery. And at first I thought, because I've used other serums and they seem to have a thicker consistency, and I thought, oh, I'm not gonna like it, it's just like water, but I actually really like it. I really like it for my dry skin, and I will put all the details about this brand in my details, okay? So I start with the face serum, and then I go to the oil, and I put it says you need 10 drops. You absolutely do not need 10 drops. You need maybe 4 or 5 drops. And if you want to do a drop on your neck as well to keep that neck looking hydrated, I do that. Next, I do moisturizer, and I use different moisturizers that I'm looking at to see which ones I like the best. But I do still really love my drugstore brand Neutrogena Hydro Boost Water Gel. So I put that on my skin, and everything I'm putting on my skin is to lock in hydration so it's not getting dry throughout the day. Put some on my neck as well. Right. There's a lot of prep involved when you have dry aging skin. So the next thing that I do is a 50 SPF. This is Coola Refreshing Water Cream, and I will provide links for all of the products I'm using, except for Seint, because I don't sell Seint. So you would go through a Seint artist if you want to get some Seint, and I can put the information of my Seint artist in the description if you want to contact her to purchase. Again, for me, Seint has hits and it has misses, but I believe the ones that are the hits could be a really good daily palette, and the ones that for me are misses, I just leave out. All right, my last step on prep is a face primer. This is Jane Iredale Smoothing Affair. Again, this is a primer that has hydration. It smells so good. I don't know what they put in here, but it smells amazing. Now, I don't know if you were counting, but that's a lot of prep. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 different things that I put on my skin before I even get to the makeup. Okay, and as we get older, the more we've got to do. When I was younger, I would literally throw on some moisturizer, throw on some makeup, and I was good to go. Not anymore. All right, so let's get into Seint. Now, there's a couple ways to apply Seint. I like using the finger method with a sponge, because I feel like the sponge can really get it set into the skin. A lot of people use a brush. Now, there's a couple reasons I don't like using the brush. And this is the Seint brush. One side, I believe this is the bronzer brush, and this is the foundation brush. But anywho, this brush is wider than the space of the compact. And what happens when you dip your brush into this, it kind of gets it all messy and goopy, and they're all like getting into each other, and I'm not a fan of that. I also find with the finger method that it's a little bit more exact on where I want to put it. Now, you could blend with a brush or with a sponge. I just prefer a sponge. So what we're doing here is main highlight, which is your main foundation, the highlight that goes under the eye, the contour. I don't use the bronzer because I'm not into bronzer. And a lip and cheek. The lip and cheek is Tango that I'm using. The bronzer is Bella. I'm sorry, the contour is Olive. Contour is Olive. I think I need to get them out of here to remember. The foundation is Aura, and the under eye is Linen. I might have got those backwards, but I will make sure to put the correct ones in the details if for any reason they're off. But everybody has a different skin tone. You get a color match from one of your Seint artists. All right, so what I do is I start with the contour, and I heat it up between my fingers a bit, and I put it right on my jawline. And I don't do a heavy contour because I don't know. I'm new to contour, and I feel like contour can very easily make my face look too dark for my neck, and just too dark for my complexion. I put a little bit on the jawline. I put a little bit up here. You know, I don't overdo it. And I think that's also the key on why I didn't like it the first time. I put a little on the sides of the nose. And I apply it the way it works for me, a little bit on the top and bottom of the lip. You know, everybody likes doing their makeup different. There is a technical way to do Seint. There's a technical way to apply it. I may not be doing exactly the way they tell you to apply it. All right, next I'm gonna go in with my main highlight. And what they say with Seint is that you don't want to put multiple layers. Like if you're putting bronzer in one area, then you don't want to put foundation in that same area. It's an application process where you're only using what you need where it goes. So, you know, I'm putting it, now I do put blush there and I still put the foundation. I will say that because I have a lot of redness on my cheeks. So I'm putting the main foundation in the places I want coverage for that, but not over the contour. And next I'm going to use the highlight under the eye, the side of the nose. And I also, if I'm not going to be using a ton of eyeshadow, which I'm not today, I like putting a little bit up here. All right. Now I'm not doing the dot method. I'm just basically sliding it on. And now I'm going to take the sponge and blend it in. And I'm going to talk to you about which ones are hits and which ones are misses for me. I will say that everything I currently have on my face is a hit. You'll notice that I don't have a highlight, you know, the little shimmery one highlight. I tried that the first time I tried Seint. And, you know, I just don't really get the point of highlight. Like, I don't really think you see it much. And I'm sure, you know, there's technically a purpose, but I didn't really, you know, get into it. And you know, I'm buying this with my own money and I don't really feel like it serves a purpose. Now, when it comes to the contour on the side, I like to rub it in with my fingers as well as here. And I don't mind the contour being a little darker on my cheeks. I just don't like it too dark, like here, where it's supposed to blend with my neck. So you'll see it's a bit darker on my cheeks, and I actually like that. I don't like it to be too dark up here or here. It's pretty. Now, again, the first time I tried it, I put way too much on. I didn't use a sponge. It was super heavy and goopy, and I hated it. But I then started learning more about makeup because I've been a powder foundation girl for 30 years and that's all I knew. And powder foundation's so easy. You literally just throw it on your face and go. But I'm very interested in finding out other ways to wear makeup as I age. And that's, you know, I'm just taking you guys along on the journey. Okay, so this is the look except for the lip and cheek, and that's a miss for me. I do not love their lip and cheek. I feel like I've tried quite a few other cream stick blushes or cream based blushes that to me are better. I also don't really like the way it looks on my lips. Now, this is only one color. This is Tango. Now, my Seint artist said to use a brush to apply it, meaning dip my brush into it and put it on, but I don't like the messiness of that. It's not that there's no color if you use enough. There's color. Notice I'm using the brush here. And it's pretty. For me, I feel like other cream blushes work better for me. And I don't like it on the lip. I'm gonna put it on, but you know, I have dry, chapped lips as well. And I feel like there's not enough moisture in it for my lips. It's not that I hate it. it's just not my favorite. See, now I feel like in the minute that I went from the cheek to the lips that it's faded quite a bit since I put it on. Like I already don't really see that blush as much as I did before. Whereas there's other brands I use that they just seem more pigmented. And they seem to sit on the skin better. See, I feel like I already need more and I just put it on. So, and I will say, I will show you guys how this wears as I always do, but I've already seen how it wears. And one of the things I felt faded was the blush. All right, so this is all of my Seint makeup after doing prep. And the only thing that needs to be added is some mascara. And this is Tarte Big Ego. I actually like this, I like this mascara quite a bit. Oh, I forgot to show you how I use my bronzer as eyeshadow. So I will go back and do that. The only thing I will say about this Tarte mascara is after a couple hours, it seems to wear down here. I don't know why. All right, going back, this is Fiji bronzer. And what I like to do with the Fiji bronzer is use it as a really quick eyeshadow hack. So it's very pigmented. I put a little up here and spread it around. Because I put the mascara on first, not the best. Bear with me. And I notice when I use the cream that a lot of times I have to steeple it up. But the nice thing is it comes right off. What I should do, really, is I should put this on before my under eye. You know. But look how pretty that is. I really like it as a quick eyeshadow hack. Super cute. And then if you want, if you feel like you've rubbed off some of the other one, technically I probably should have put that one on first. I can just go back and put a little more of this up here. All right, so the only thing that's not a hit for me after I researched more is the lip and cheek. I'm just not a fan. But I like everything else quite a bit, actually. Now, this is not the end of my process. I am somebody who's not used to a lot of wet, goopy stuff on my face. I much prefer a setting powder versus a setting spray, and you really do need to use this step if you don't want to feel like every time you touch your face, your makeup is going to come off. And that's what I didn't know the first time I tried Seint. I did not realize that I needed some kind of setting powder or setting spray, and I felt like every time I touched my face, I had makeup coming up on my hand, and I touched my face throughout the day. So I've showed this in multiple videos. This is Jouer's blurring, pore minimizing, hydrating setting powder, which I absolutely love. You guys are probably getting sick of seeing it because I haven't even tried another one yet because I love this one so much. And it is translucent. So I like to put it on over all my makeup as opposed to doing it after the foundation because it's translucent and because it'll then set all my makeup. I probably should have done the mascara after this too. But you know, what's done is done. This is why I've learned to like, after figuring out what to do, why I like this makeup is because I do feel like it gives me coverage. It gives me a full coverage. Whereas a lot of cream makeups, like when I tried the OG, I didn't feel like I got enough coverage. When I tried the a lot of the tinted moisturizers, they're great for a no makeup look and they're great for like not needing a lot of coverage, but sometimes I like full coverage and I feel like this makeup gives me full coverage. It's really pretty, and it's covering all of those things I want to cover. All right, so I'm going to wear this for a bit, and then I'm going to show you how it wears. So I will see you in about 8 hours. I am back after wearing my Seint Makeup and Prep application for approximately 8 hours. I'm trying to get this done before the sun goes down. And as you can see, it still looks pretty good. I do want to preface that I did add in some eyebrows, which was eyeshadow that's not Seint Makeup. And I did, as I said, I wasn't a fan of the lip and cheek. I did actually add a different cream blush here from Jouer that I feel has better coverage and more pigment. So this blush is the Jouer that I added about 2 to 3 hours after I first put it on. Because in 2 to 3 hours, I didn't see the blush at all. It was like not there. I didn't really see it when I put it on, to be honest. Anywho, everything else is the original makeup, and it looks pretty good. It really does. I have a little bit of, and I don't know if you guys can see it, I have a little bit of breaking up here. Tiny little bit of creasing under the eyes. Of course, at my nose, it comes off because I blow my nose. Just a little bit of breakup here. But I would say what I'm seeing here is pretty much similar to any foundation that I wear, whether it be a liquid, a cream, or powder. There's always a few areas that break up. There's always my nose that's going to come off. Overall, it looks pretty fabulous for wearing it for 8 hours. I do see a little bit more here too on the foundation, where it wore off maybe a little bit here. But overall, I like it the second time around. Don't like the lip and cheek. Don't do the bronzer except for on the eyes. And actually on the eyes, you can still see a little bit of that bronzer, which I really like. It's maybe come off just a little bit. I love doing the bronzer as eyeshadow hack. I think it's great. And that's about it for Seint. I can see myself using it now that I understand how to use it, and now that I understand and have setting powder that I love. It feels good. I'm not putting too much on like I was before. I will not be buying their lip and cheek, but I probably will continue to use some days their foundation and their contour. I use different makeup different days. Sometimes I feel like just putting on a tinted moisturizer and a little mascara. Other days I want more full coverage, and for full coverage I would gear towards Seint and possibly, and of course my go-to Jane Iredale powder foundation. But I like having multiple options as I age, and that's why as I look at all these different kinds of makeup, I'm kind of just inviting you on my journey, and that's why it's called Glowing Up, as we glow up into midlife. And so with that being said, even if you're not middle-aged like I am and you love wigs, makeup, and skincare, or one of the three, please subscribe to my channel, hit that bell, give me a thumbs up, and I'm going to see y'all at the next one.